Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for April 18th. April 18th is the 108th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 109th in leap years, with 257 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is render. Render is a verb, and oh boy, does it have some definitions. We usually see the word render as a verb, but there is a use of render as a noun. As a verb, render can mean to melt down, as one might render suet, or to extract by melting, as one might render lard. Render might mean to treat so as to convert into industrial fats and oils or fertilizer. Render might mean to deliver or to transmit to another, to give up or yield, to furnish for consideration or approval or information, such as to hand down a legal judgment, render a judgment, or to agree on and report a verdict, render a verdict. Render might mean to give in return or retribution, or to give an acknowledgement of dependence or obligation, as in render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Render might mean a service or services performed for another. Render might mean to cause to be or become, as in we got enough rain as to render irrigation unnecessary, or depression rendered him helpless. We're not done yet. Did I say there were a lot of meanings for this word? Render might refer to the production or representation by artistic or verbal means, as in she rendered an amazing likeness of the subject, or his short story rendered an accurate description of that kind of situation. Render might mean to produce a copy or a version of, as in documents rendered in their original language. Render might mean to execute the motions of, as in to render a salute. Render might mean to give recompense, as in please render payment at time of service. As a noun, render means a return, especially in goods or services due from a feudal tenant to his lord. What a busy word render is. The word render comes to us from Middle English, Anglo-French before that, ultimately from Latin, where meanings primarily had to do with the idea of giving or putting something back. First known use of the word render is in the 1300s. Render. The word render was suggested by Teresa Ramsire at T. Ramsire. Thanks, Teresa. And remember, if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, this is the birthday of American singer, songwriter, and guitarist Clarence Gatemouth Brown. Born April 18th, 1924 in Vinton, Louisiana, and he was raised across the Sabine River over near Orange, Texas. We've mentioned him briefly in previous episodes, but I'd like to talk a little bit more about him today, and then we'll talk about one of his songs. One of his high school teachers said he had a voice like a gate, and the nickname Gatemouth stuck. Seems like he could play just about anything that made music. He was playing guitar by the time he was 10 years old, and he also played drums and swing bands when he was a teenager. Best known for his blues treatments, he got a big break in his early 20s when he went to a concert by T-Bone Walker at the Bronze Peacock nightclub. T-Bone got sick. Gatemouth quickly wrote and played Gatemouth Boogie. The audience loved it, and so did the owner of the club, Don Roby. Mr. Roby was sufficiently impressed as to found a record company, Peacock Records, initially as a means to promote Gatemouth's guitar work. Gatemouth Brown has released over 20 original albums, over 20 compilations and bootlegs, plus appearances, recordings with other artists. He toured for years, sometimes doing between 250 and 300 shows a year. He toured all over the world, including Europe and the USSR. He's won a Grammy Award, 8 W.C. Handy Awards, was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame. As befalls so many, he began to experience health issues in his later years, emphysema and heart disease. And when he was found to have lung cancer, the treatment for the cancer was deemed to be too risky given his other health issues. Even so, Clarence Gatemouth Brown lived to the age of 81. He's buried at the Hollywood Cemetery in Orange, Texas, and the state of Texas has placed a historical marker in his honor. Clarence Gatemouth Brown. Last year, for October 18th, we talked about the word Rufus, St. Peter's Basilica, Martin Luther, the University of Alabama, Clarence Darrow, the Spirits Book, San Francisco's 1906 earthquake and subsequent fire, Joan of Arc, Yankee Stadium, Clarence Gatemouth Brown, and Thor Heyerdahl. I'll leave a link to that episode if you'd like to see it. Clarence Gatemouth Brown was known mostly for his work as a blues musician, but he also liked to interweave traditional blues with country, jazz, Cajun music, and rhythm and blues. I mentioned earlier that it seems like he could play just about any kind of musical instrument. He started out with the guitar and then the drums, and he also played mandolin, the viola, the violin, and harmonica. Very influential with the blues fiddle. Today's song, though, we're going to see him play the guitar, and this is an instrumental song, fun to watch, fun to listen to, performed live from Austin, Texas, Honky Tonk, by Clarence Gatemouth Brown. Link in the description. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. And from the Life is What Happens When You Make Other Plans department, more than on... Did you really? Okay, hold on. I forgot to tell it, do not disturb. Okay, we're going to do that one again. Oh, where's your microphone? Oh, get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. You're here with me live this morning as I stumble through. I thought I was ready to go, and my apologies for the hiccups and the baubles. See, that's all stuff that gets edited out in the edited versions. We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.